But talk about the perils or perhaps the challenges of drafting goalies when it comes to the first round. Carey Price, by the way, went 5th in 2005 lots. That was the last goalie to be picked in the top 10 of the draft. The feeling right now when it comes to Askarov is he's going to go in the top 10. But what do you think, as a former GM, when it comes to drafting goalies in the top 10, what's the danger here?
Well, a lot to unpack right there. In a normal year, there's always just a little bit of hesitation for GMs to reach to pick goaltenders because there's so many that have been picked so much further down the line and had success. It is a position that's universally accepted to take the longest to master in the National Hockey League. Add in the fact that Askarov is a Russian player playing for the wealthiest team in the KHL, having a contract, not knowing when he's going to get here, brings even more anxiety to general managers. But the fact of the matter is, there is no denying his talent, Reader. And I will tell you, because of another factor, this year's goalie market, how crazy it is, how much movement we're going to see, that's going to complicate the decision even more for someone to step up and take him inside the top 10. I'm guessing outside, not by much, though.
He will go in the first round. I'm not a fan.
First round.
I'm not a fan of that, taking goaltenders in the first round. And I don't think we'll see Askarov, like you said. It's going to be a couple of years. He's already under contract. And with the glut of goaltenders who are going to be free agents and the movement of goaltenders and the shuffling, there are going to be teams, or there are going to be goaltenders who aren't going to find a team. It'll be interesting how high Askarov goes. It'll be interesting what team needs a goaltender. But the team that needs a goaltender today is not going to get him today.
Exactly.
It's going to be a few years.
Yeah, because otherwise Edmonton would be a lock at 14 to take him, if that were the case. Right. But you're not going to get him today.
They may not get him next year either. That's the interesting point. But I'm still, goaltenders are a different breed. Very tough to get a good read on, very tough to understand through the draft. That's why I think I'd wait. But there's no question this young Askarov is a special player.
Sam, how do you feel about the chances of taking him in the top 10?
Well, let's go back and study the last 3 goaltenders that were taken in the first round. And we'll go back to Ilya Samsonov. The general manager at that time was George McPhee, no longer with the Washington Capitals, to watch that pick come to fruition. Then I look at Jake Ottinger and Jim Nill with the Dallas Stars. Ottinger was a backup. Those two are still together. And Spencer Knight, taken 13th by Florida. Dale Talon was the general manager there. He is no longer there. So I think what I'm trying to say is if you're a general manager and you select a goalie, pretty good chance that you're not going to be around to watch him come to fruition. I love the path that Washington took with Samsonov. They knew he was playing over in Russia. They knew he had to honor his contract, which he did for a couple of years. Then he comes over and gets some American Hockey League experience into a smaller rink where the angles are different and the position is definitely affected by that. And then they bring him into a situation where they've had Holtby, won a cup with them, realized that his deal was coming to an end, and it timed out perfectly. He got into a bunch of games this year. I think he won 16 of them, and now it looks like he's going to take over for Holtby. So my opinion would be, if you're a general manager, don't expect to see that guy come to fruition. But the other part of it is, in my opinion, you need to have your goaltending set for a little while, as the guys talked about. It takes a long time to develop the position, and only patience works when it comes to that development. So I'd say, wait it out.
Good advice. You're right. When it comes to patience wears thin, we all know that when it comes to NHL and ownerships and front offices and all the rest of it. All right. Those are our thoughts when it comes to Askarov specifically.